That voice always sort of terrifies me, you know, and when Zoom pops in.
She's like, what? Where are
Yeah,
you?
which fits with the show. Let's
Yeah.
to tie it right in there. No. It is such a pleasure to chat with you, Michael. I'm honestly, truly a big fan of your work.
Oh,
Ever
thanks,
since
man.
House of Cards, I love. Yeah, honestly, and now my kids love you too because GI Joe, and
Yeah, that was fun. That was fun. My kids finally got to see me do something.
that's got to feel good. You finally share it, right?
Yeah, and their friends, they're like, "Oh my God, your dad is an actor," because they can't watch the same that I do.
That's right.
So they think I
Well,
just do bit parts in big movies.
well, what is it? The Lioness is just fantastic. Like honestly, it's gripping. It's
Yeah.
what was it that excited you to be a part of it?
I mean, Taylor and the women involved in the project, Morgan and Bruce and Jennifer Ely weren't. I didn't know they were in the show yet, but those women and Taylor, I'm a big fan of Taylor's, and I'd met him in person auditioning for another project. So when he called about this one, I was just like, yeah, dude, I'm in. Like, I'm such a huge fan, and he sent me the scripts, and I was like, oh my God, these are so good. Like, it's so good. And he's like, yeah, just so you know, man, we're not changing a word. What you're reading, there won't be any second blue pages. That's what we're gonna shoot. And I was like, great. And he's like, even without the commas and the periods that are missing, he's like, that's what we're shooting. I was like, well, this is fucking fantastic. So I can't wait to shoot it. It's just one of those things that happen where you're just like, wow, I can't believe I get to do this and someone's going to pay me to do this. You just feel so grateful.
Well, you know, it's funny because we really seem to be living in the age of Taylor Sheridan. Like he's everywhere.
It's
What
insane.
what what does he bring to a script? Like I know you said like he had it right in front of you and he said this is what we're doing, but what is it that makes him so unique?
I think he has an incredible capability to give you drama that it it's very real, but it's also just so relatable to most people, and he can give you drama without being melodramatic, if that makes sense. He's so gifted at leaving it hanging for you that you're just like, I have to have more. I have to see the next episode. I want to know what's going to happen, because you get so invested in his characters, because all of the characters that are written are so well rounded, especially these female characters in this show. You see them at work, but then you go home with them and you see, which is one of the most fascinating things about the CIA and how secretive their life actually is. But I think for us to as an audience to see that, it's just so compelling, so compelling.
You know, I love that you bring that up because these characters feel so real. Real is the word. They just feel like real people in under these incredible circumstances. And of course, you're dealing with, you know, the in this particular series, and I know you're dealing with the CIA and FBI and all of these things. Did you have to go any special preparation or training to just be involved? I know you're not in the field per se, but
Right.
to
And I had a pretty good understanding of, well, to start politics from House of Cards, and then to follow House of Cards with Jack Ryan, and then all of the military jobs that I've done from The Long Road Home to Generation Kill. I have a pretty, and it's something that I'm absolutely personally engaged in. I go and I lobby on the Hill for seniors. I lobby on the Hill for the military. Like, I work with Democrats and Republicans. I go and meet with people and sit down with people and try to get them to, reauthorize the Old Americans Act. Like, I'm engaged, and I know and I love politics. So, and I knew and loved the CIA from my work with Jack Ryan, and having gone to the CIA. I've been on campus several times doing a screening for them and having tours, and all of that just led to this knowledge that I have of these, not just what they do, but these people. And you get to know these people and understand these people and see that they're people just like you and I, that are just have a lot more of the weight of the world on their shoulders than we do.
Yeah, I am so glad you said that, honestly, because that's one of the things I love about this series is this tension between family and mission.
Yeah,
And not necessarily in the field per se, but like you come home and life is here and it's moving on and you're in this other space. And yes, these characters, like I think we can lose sight of, when we think of the military, we can lose sight of their very real human lives
exactly.
at home.
Exactly. And you see that. You see, not only do you see the global theater of war in our show that I think is told so well, but I think you see the real life consequences and ramifications for these people who go and do what they do for their country and then go home and have to live this normal life, right? And then they go out and do this crazy shit and they come home and it's like, did you make the eggs? It's this, I know it on such a minute level from when I go away to do Jack Ryan's say, and we're based in Budapest for a year and a half doing 2 seasons back to back. And there were times where I was 6 weeks away. It is nothing compared to the military, nothing compared to the CIA. I'm not comparing myself to that, but I'm saying that I can understand it on a minutia level when I go away and I come home and my wife's like, make your own fucking coffee, dude. Like, you're not on set anymore, asshole. Not that I'm asking her to make it, but it's this joke that we have, that it's like you go and you're having everything done for you and you're working your ass off, but they very much take care of you on set and you have all this stuff. And then you come home and you're like, yeah, I'll drive the kids to baseball practice, it's wild. Then you think about these guys who are dealing with like these heavy world issues and come home and have to take their kid to soccer practice. It's like, or deal with their daughter who's going through puberty and holy shit, she's pregnant, was in a car accident. And you're like, she's like, I'm trying to hold the world together over here, and it's, you got to hold the family together too. It's just, it's part of Taylor Sheridan's brilliance is to be able to, the way he intertwined those, I thought was just so wonderfully done.
Yeah, it really flushes everything sort of out. Like the action on the field is intense, and then when you come home, you're struck with this other world that is just everybody's world.
Mhm.
And the question, I mean, this may be a hard question to ask, so forgive me if it is.
Oh,
But based on your conversations with some of these people in the military that you've had, or even even to your senses in some ways with your acting being away, how do you keep a piece of who you are when you're off site so much?
yeah, it's hard, man. And I can't even imagine how hard it is for those in the military. These families who
Yeah.
go away for these men and women who deploy for a year at a time. I can't. I was losing my mind after 3 weeks. By the time I got to 6 weeks, I was just dying, and I can't imagine what a year's like. And my heart breaks for them. And I think it's one of the things that we need to focus on in this country, in the U.S. here, is that what we do and how we take care of our servicemen and women when they come home. And I'm not talking about the CIA, I'm talking about our United States military and getting these people jobs and getting these people housings and stop moving them around every few years for a promotion. It's like, let's try to keep the family together and without jumping them all over the country. In our country, if you get a promotion within the military, you move. You have to go to another base, and so it's like these families are picking up, and you hear it all the time. Yeah, I was a military brat. I traveled the country, and I never really I never really had a home. Like, shit's wrong, man. Not to mention what happens when they come home when they're done. How we don't care enough for them in this country. It's rotten.
Absolutely. I mean, the PTSD that you can't separate the two lives, but you're asked to. It's got to be an impossible task.
Yeah,
It's
some
just
of these guys and what they've been through, and especially on the long road home and Generation Kill, these men who were in Iraq and some of the shit that they lived through, and and you see it, you see it when you're on set and you're riding in the Humvee and you're shooting these. They're not real guns, but you're shooting these fake guns and they're shooting fake guns at you, but it's fucking loud and and your adrenaline is through the fucking roof. And these guys come home and it's like I said, it's the coffee, it's the kids, the thing. It's like, where's my thrill? Where's my, not to say being shot at is thrilling, but no matter what, it gets your endorphins and you're up here, you're operating on a 20, you know, and you come home and you go to a 2 and it's like, what's my purpose? What am I supposed to, you know, I just feel for these men and women so much. Breaks my heart.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Honestly, it does as mine as well. Michael, thank you
Thank you,
so
man.
much for your time. I really
Oh, my
appreciate it.
absolute pleasure. My absolute pleasure. Nice talking to you, man.
Nice talking to you too. Have a great day.
You too. Bye.